Hello, hyperspace. My name is Davontos, and it's time to get hyped because this is some Call of Duty Black Ops 3 multiplayer gameplay. Now, in this gameplay, we're going to discuss something a little different. It's been a suggestion I've been given by a couple of people here and there, and it's actually discussing my gaming history. Now, people are asking this because they're curious, or they're asking this because they want to know why am I such a beast in video games. And, well, let's start from the very bottom and move to present day. It's probably going to be a long discussion. It's not really going to be about Call of Duty, so if you don't want to see this video, there's probably going to be another one uploaded today to make up for yesterday's absence. So let's get straight into this discussion. So somewhere deep in the woods of World Davontos, there's a laboratory where I was created, and the laboratory doctors officially declared me as a certified badass and MLG pro, because I've been playing video games longer than I can remember. Now that part's a true story. I don't even remember how long I've been playing video games. I remember I started playing on the Sega Genesis? I don't even remember, but it wasn't mine, it was my brother's. Davontos has a brother! I've mentioned that a couple of times, but I'm pretty sure a lot of you don't know that. So anyway, it was on the Sega Genesis. I used to love some X-Men game that my bro had in the Sega Genesis, and we used to play it a lot, you know, not really that much, and I wanted my own console. Davontos wanted to be a certified badass with his own video games, and then Davontos' Mom Vontos, she got me a Super Nintendo, which was my very first video game console with my very first game, Yoshi's Island. And that's why Yoshi is my favorite Nintendo character, because he introduced me to the entire gaming universe. So, I played the hell out of Yoshi's Island. I got all the unlocks, I completed all the levels 100%, collected all the flowers, collected all the stars, just 100% completion. I love that game. And then I started buying some other games for Super Nintendo. I think I've played Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat on Super Nintendo. I don't remember. But what I do know is when I carried over to the Nintendo 64, it was because of my cousins. Davontos' cousins had, well, Nintendo 64, and they introduced me to it. And upon introducing Davontos to Nintendo 64, they introduced me to one of the best games ever created, Super Smash Bros. So, that's where Davontos' fighting game legacy has begun. Now, in Super Smash Bros., for those of you who don't know, I am a beast in fighting games, and it's all because of Smash Bros. Well, it all started with Smash Bros., but there are some other games that come into play in the future. So, I have owned every single Smash Bros. Since, except the Wii U version. I have the 3DS version. And at the moment, my Mewtwo is undefeated. So, I was dropping it on my cousins, and I was even dropping it on my brother, who's a couple years older than I am, and I wasn't even a teenager at the time I started playing Smash 64. And it kinda dawned on me. This is a legend in the making. Davontos can be a legend in fighting video game. So I've been practicing with fighting video games, a lot of Street Fighter here and there, mostly Super Smash Bros., and I got a couple games here and there for Nintendo 64. My all-time favorite was Banjo-Kazooie, GoldenEye 64, which introduced me to the shooting genre, and Smash Bros., which was my all-time best fighting game. And there were a couple games popping up here and there, nothing really of interest for Nintendo 64, and then the GameCube came on the way. And in the GameCube, my first game was Super Smash Bros. Melee. And on Melee, oh, I became a beast in that game too. Nobody could have beaten me. My best characters was Fox, just like everybody else, Falco, still Yoshi. Yoshi's always been holding the top place in my Smash, and alongside Mewtwo in Melee as well. And now that I say Mewtwo, he's always been one of my favorite Pokemon, and I've perfected him in every Pokemon game and fighting game he's ever been in. So, after Melee, there's been a couple other fighting games I got for the GameCube, like Soul Calibur 2 and I think there was a Street Fighter for GameCube? I don't even remember. But I got a couple fighting games. On the GameCube, I had GoldenEye, 007 Nightfire. Yeah, that was the one. Nightfire was one of my favorite FPSs, and that Nightfire game actually got me into first-person shooters a lot more than GoldenEye did. So, that's when after GameCube, I got a Wii. I've been stuck on the Wii. I had to get Smash Brothers Roll, and I've just been playing video games since. I hop in and out of video games. I play a lot of video games. However, once my Wii got old, right? My Wii stopped reading the discs. It stopped working. Couldn't connect to the internet. So we had to ship it to Nintendo. And when we shipped it to Nintendo, Nintendo be like, "I'll fix it for you." So we had to wait for Nintendo to fix it. While we were waiting, Davontos had nothing to do. So what did he do? Well, he got himself a PlayStation 3, which is where Sony comes into play. And I've been on PlayStation since PlayStation 3, and I actually had World at War on the Wii. I mentioned this in a last video. I have World at War on the Wii, which introduced me to Call of Duty, because, you know, once I got the Wii, I was like, I want a shooter game that's like Nightfire. But there's no you know, cool shooter games on the Wii. And then I saw World at War with that man running in the woods with those explosions behind him, and the guy with the flamethrower. It just looked like an epic movie. So I was like, I gotta try this. I got it. I played it. I loved it. And then when my Wii broke, I was just disappointed because there was no more Call of Duty for me, and even no more Super Smash Brothers. So that's why I had to ship it to Nintendo. Nintendo said they fixed it for me, got myself a PlayStation, and then that's when I discovered, hey, World at War's on the PlayStation 3 as well. So I got it for PlayStation 3, which is my first Call of Duty on PlayStation 3. I've been on Call of Duty since. And for the PlayStation 3, here is what really boosted my, I guess you can say, fast finger movements. Now, there is a game that came out for PlayStation 3 called Hatsune Miku Project Diva. And then there was a second part that was called Hatsune Miku Project Diva 2nd. Now, with these two games, it's kind of like Guitar Hero. However, when you play these games, you have to be pressing the triangle, circle, square, the X button, L2, R2, just like every button on the PlayStation controller, and you have to do it really, really fast. And I've perfected almost every single song on Expert. Now, you can still download the demo on PlayStation 3, I believe, and it only gives you easy and normal. And you can try it for yourself and let me know how difficult normal is. Expert makes normal look like, well, child's play. And I managed to complete Expert mode on, well, almost every song on Expert mode. Come Diva 2nd, I did the same thing, and I feel like that really increased my hand-eye coordination and, well, how fast I can just move my fingers. And they've really increased my gaming until how it is today. That's basically about it. I've just been a Nintendo dude until Wii broke, and when Wii broke, I switched over to Sony. Call of Duty, Hatsune Miku, increased my gaming speeds and became a better gamer. Thank you, Japan! So, that's basically about it, at least for the consoles. Now, for the handhelds, I've had my first Game Boy was Game Boy Pocket. I never had Game Boy Color. I had Game Boy Pocket. I just played the shit out of Pokemon. Pokemon Blue was my first one. Blastoise was my pick. Everybody be taking Charmander. I'd be like, you know what? I'm gonna counter that Charmander. I'll take my ass some Squirtle. So I took Squirtle. I dropped out all the Charmanders, and then I wound up getting beat by Bulbasaur, and nobody likes that. So then I kept on playing a couple of handhelds here and there. I wasn't really a handheld person, but then once I got the PS3 and PS4, there wasn't no Wii U for me. So I was thinking, you know, how can I continue playing Smash Brothers if, you know, the Wii's obsolete at the moment, and I don't have a Wii U. Luckily, Nintendo released Smash for the 3DS, and I can still play Smash. And I've been playing Smash since. The only problem now is that my 3DS is old, and for some reason it can't connect to the internet. I've tried, I've called Nintendo, they don't know what's wrong, so I just play with bots, or with family, or with my brother. But it wouldn't matter. Davontos beats him anyway. And that's it! That's Davontos Gaming Pass. Started off on Sega Genesis, and I went on to Super Nintendo, been a Nintendo boy all the way until PlayStation 3, and then I've switched over to PlayStation 4, and well, here I am on PlayStation 4. And from PlayStation 4, that's where my YouTube channel picked up. Now, I believe many of you have seen my first video called One Man, One Epic Voice, I believe it was called. That video was really old. That was before I even had the PlayStation 3, I think? But either way, that was a very old video, and then got the PlayStation 4, found out PS4 can connect to YouTube, so I was like, it's time to resurrect Davontos. And I started posting on YouTube again, posting gameplay, which is one of the things I really, really wanted to do. And here I am, posting gameplay. And the channel, speaking of which, the channel is almost at 200 subscribers. There will be a special video at 200, and I can't thank all of you guys enough for that. I know you guys hear that from all the YouTubers all the time, but it just means so much to us to just see a large audience appreciate the weird, funny, bizarre, serious, whatever content it is, just an audience who appreciates the stuff that we do. We can't thank you guys enough for that. Now, I know throughout this entire video, I've been seeming like a very narcissistic person, talking about how beast I am at MLGs, how nobody can compete, and what kind of pro I am at fighting games, but I'm not really that much of a narcissistic person, and it seems like very jerkish attitude. I mean, I'm a little narcissistic to a limit. You gotta be. I mean, a lot of people nowadays, they always talk bad about themselves. You know, they hate this on their body. They want to die. They hate their life. You gotta love yourself a little bit. You gotta appreciate what you have, because you won't appreciate what you have until it's lost. And that's for everything. Your body, your belongings, your family, your friends. It's everything. Appreciate what you have. And boast about it a little bit, maybe in a joking manner, but still boast about it, and people will take it as a joke. Now, if they don't take it as a joke, you stop, because then you're going to seem like a big jerk. So, let's talk about that 200 sub video. A lot of people have been asking me, what are you going to do about the 200 subs? I'm still thinking about it. Maybe it's going to be a vlog, maybe it's going to be a special short thank you video, maybe it's going to be a special montage, who knows. But once we get to 200 subs, there will be a video, I guaranteed that. However, the video will not be me taking off my shades. I will take off my shades at some point. Maybe sometime in the future, so you can see Davontos' eyes. Maybe Davontos doesn't have eyes, but there will be a video where I take off my glasses sometime in the future. So everybody who likes the video, watches the video, anyone who subscribed, even if you just watch the video and you dislike it, thank you for at least taking the time to view this content that so many YouTubers create for you guys to enjoy and watch. And even if you're on Twitter, you like the post, you retweet the post, just thank you all for doing that to the channel. You're helping the channel grow, and you're helping form this mighty community that we could just talk and hang out and not troll, because ever since I started the community, I've only seen like one troll, and I've also seen instances where you guys take care of the troll, and that's really good. And thank you for taking care of the troll as well. Just trying to build a really positive community where we all look out for each other. Now, one more thing before I go, it's about artwork. I've been asked a couple of times, I want to draw a picture of you in like a cartoon style, maybe an anime version of Davontos. Where can I do that? You can actually send these pictures to me on Twitter. My Twitter is going to be right there. And you can just send it to me as a photo. And believe it or not, I actually save every single picture of artwork that people give to me. I have them all saved on the phone. Some of them is actually my wallpaper, my lock screen, and occasionally they switch out to be my Twitter profile or banner. So every picture you guys send to me, I save each and every one of them. And if it's a beautiful piece of artwork that looks like a taken photo from a cell phone, thank you for that. I can't thank you enough. And if it's a ugly looking stick figure that you still took the time to draw for me, I don't care how it looks. All art is always appreciated, because you still took the time to draw it. Even if you think it looks terrible, it still looks nice to me because you took the time to draw it for Davontos, and thank you for that. So if you liked the video, punch that like button with a mighty force. You can follow me up on Twitter at DavontosMan, and as always, I'll see all of you in my next video. Have a nice day.